There is nothing like airport chaos or passport emergencies to ruin a vacation, which is why travel-free stress is one of my important things for the next year.
YOLO Adventure, live your dreams, chase the sunsets, follow streams, one life, one chance, come explore. YOLO Adventure, there's so much more. Dive in deep, climb up high, touch the stars, reach for the sky.
Travel can be thrilling, eye-opening, and restorative. But let's face it, actually getting to your destination leaves plenty of room for error. Everything from shelling out on expensive airfares to navigating crowded airports and trying to stay on top of travel documents like passports and compliance with visas and the real IDs. It can be enough to keep even the most passionate nomads at home. But with a little planning ahead, you can set yourself up for another smooth ride for your next big trip. By completing a handful of simple tasks at the start of your planning, you can assure you'll be able to better afford your trips, maximize your precious points and miles that you might get, and decrease the security and custom wait times that are in front of you. I've rounded up 6 different ways you can get ahead of your to-dos for stress-free travel for the future, and you'll thank yourself for doing it. The first thing to do is to check your passport expiration date. Dreaming of an international trip next year? Then you'll want to give your passport a quick glance. If the expiration date is coming up within the next year, it's a good idea to apply for renewal. Remember that many countries require your passport to be valid for at least 6 months past the day you arrive, so you should always renew your little blue book well before it actually expires. As a matter of fact, I make sure that my passport won't expire 6 months after I return. Fortunately now, passport processing times are finally back to their relatively quick pre-pandemic time frame. It takes 4 to 6 weeks, not including the mailing time, but renewing your passport or applying for the first one should be carefully planned for. Remember, you can now apply for a passport online. If you get your application submitted before the end of December, you'll be sitting pretty for any travels next year. According to the State Department, the best time to apply for or renew passports is from October through December. The 3-month period with fewest applications that the department says is their slow season. Try renewing online to cut down your paperwork. Many travelers are now eligible for the new entirely digital process, although the first-time applicants must still submit by mail. If you forget to do it over the holidays, you can still pay an extra $60 fee for expedited processing, which shrinks the passport turnaround time to just 2 or 3 weeks. Assessing your points and your mileage strategy. To create points and mileage plan for the new year, start taking stock of your credit cards and the points you already have. Ask yourself a few questions to assess your current spending habits. Have you put all your spending on the same airline or hotel card for years and now find it hard to get much from your points? Do you have a card that earns cash back but now feel free to dive into the points? The answers to these questions can help clarify your priorities for your year ahead, making stress-free travel that much more attainable. For some travelers, the next step may be opening a new card, and for others it may be shifting spending from one card to another to maximize your points. There also have been sweeping changes over the past couple of years by some airline loyalty programs that make it harder and even more expensive to determine whether chasing or maintaining the elite status makes any sense for you. While status feels great and could lead to fun and upgrades and perks, I always caution my friends that focusing on building status isn't always worth it. I was a million miler on 3 airlines when I was traveling frequently for my business, but now that I am not traveling that much, it becomes harder and harder to take advantage of any loyalty programs. But at the same time, some brands offer a high elite status just by holding a particular credit card, such as an American Express Platinum or Centurion card. Putting more of your spending on one card that earns transferable points that can be of significant flexibility to move points from one card to another vendor. As I said, Amex Platinum Chase Sapphire Reserve among the numerous others that have flexibility in points, and you can able to book a trip that has the best rate without needing to stick to one brand. Make sure you apply or renew your global entry. If you've never used global entry, it allows access to faster lines at airport, customs, and immigration. And when you return to the United States from an international trip, you get also TSA pre-check with it. Frequent trips abroad in 1 year go way beyond the cost to the benefit. It costs $100 for a 5-year membership, and sometimes many travel cards will cover that cost for you and could save hours of waiting in lines at airports. I've used global entry for years, and I know that once I get through the global entry, sometimes when my bag comes out, I'm out of the airport and people are still in line for immigration. If you're already a member of GOES, then check your expiration date. You're eligible to start the renewal process about a year before the membership expires. Renewing early is well worth the effort. Travelers who renew before their membership expires are allowed to keep using global entry for 24 months after the expiration date. Travel is becoming more and more expensive, and the cost of 1 week vacation in the U.S. is clocked at over $2,000 per person. According to data that I received from a banking app called Chime, for a couple traveling, that number rose to over $4,000. Those numbers will certainly sound daunting, but if you start saving plan right away, you'll be able to hit those benchmarks with relative ease if you plan ahead. The key is to start saving early and putting away small chunks of money in a separate account that acts as your dedicated travel fund. I recommend naming the travel savings account something like Paris 2026 or something similar to that. It'll help you stay motivated and make you less likely to raid that account for other purchases. Even putting away small chunks of change, say $40 a week, will add up. If you do it regularly, it's easy to save in bits and pieces as opposed to all at once. Putting aside $40 a week will add up to about $2,000 by the end of the year. If you can put more in, then it happens very, very fast. To help yourself stay consistent, automate the contributions to your savings account by setting it up through your bank so that you will get that money in there automatically, and likely you'll never even miss it. Most of us are already fantasizing about where we want to go next year. If you have a few dream destinations in mind, consider using an airfare tracking monitor for your flight prices. The tools available that I like are Kayak, Hopper, Google Flights, Skyscanner, and sometimes Going. These sites offer to send you an email and an alert or push notification when the prices drop on a flight on the route you're interested in. With most of these sites, they simply input the dates of your trip, you import your departure airport and the destination, and sign up to receive the price alerts. Most sites allow travelers to set multiple alerts across different flight routes so you can import several journeys you're interested in booking. When setting the alerts, timing is key in order to find the cheapest fares. Airlines release fares about 12 months in advance, but prices usually start high to snag early bookers willing to pay more. There's usually a sweet spot for most destinations when tickets hit their lowest point. If you're eyeing a summer trip to Greece or Europe or Italy, that means monitoring fares between 4 and 10 months ahead. Using this method, you're sure to find a recent fare from New York to Athens for just $700 per person. A site called Skyscanner also has a savings generator tool that identifies the best time to book a flight based on travel details. For instance, the best time to book a flight on a May trip from Chicago to London is 26 weeks ahead of time, according to the search tool. You can also use the information as a guide when you set price alerts for any of your other trips. And make sure you have a real ID. New federal identification rules require real ID to be effective now. Travelers age 18 and older on U.S. flights, or even domestic ones, must have a real ID compliant form of identification to board the plane. Essentially, it means that travelers must show a real ID driver's license at the TSA checkpoint or another form of compliant identification, which includes a passport or passport card, a global entry card, And getting a real ID driver's license takes a few extra steps, but they're attainable now in all 50 states. You know you have a compliant license if there's one of these symbols in the corner of the card, a gold or black star, a white star with a gold or black circle around it, or a gold bear with a white star on top. I hope these tips have been helpful for you. I have put links below for some other videos where I have travel tips on how to prepare for a very long trip, how to make sure your passport is correct, how your visas should be handled, and so on. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do, and I'd like to hear your comments. Thank you for watching.
YOLO Adventure.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video.
YOLO Adventure, there's so much more.